Welcome back, Weebs, to another bracket video. Today we'll be talking about game genre anime and which is the best. This video will include Sword Art Online, No Game No Life, Kategori, Death Parade, Overlord, Log Horizon, the original Yu-Gi-Oh, and Kaji, the Ultimate Survivor. Let's go! Starting up round 1, we have Sword Art Online vs No Game No Life. Two isekai anime, both respected in different ways and both hated in different ways. But when it comes to the game elements into it, let's have a look. Sword Art Online has really basic game elements, pretty much the top anime in relation to the isekai genre. It's pretty basic, nothing really different happens. They go into an MMORPG, different stages, 100 stages in the game Sword Art Online. I'm only counting that game because there's a number of different seasons and games, but that's probably the best, so I only count that, the game called Sword Art Online. Different stages they have to get through it. The game alone, nothing really special. There's bosses for each stage they have to defeat to advance, nothing really interesting. The fights are okay against the boss. You don't see many, which is a bit of a disappointment. You only see, I think, less than 5, so that's okay. You don't see much of the progression training wise that goes into it. You see at the start that Kyoto is just mowing down stuff to get XP because he's a beater, pretty much a try-hard MMORPG guy that cheats through or like grind speed runs through. Now with No Game No Life, the game element was that these two kids or one about late teens, early adult to this little girl. They're pretty much top gamers in the world, and the gamer tag is blank. Not the word blank, this is blank, and they're pretty much teleported to this another world where everything's run by games. So whoever's the best at games is pretty much the king of this world. And they get teleported to the humanity race, which is pretty much humans, and they call it humanity in it, so yeah. And they have to they have to defeat other races with their like superior game skills, even though they might be physically and not as intelligent, or the main characters are, but the rest of the race are not. Humans versus like ultimate gods at some stages, and pretty much them using their game knowledge and a bit of like BS, you know. And overall I enjoy probably No Game No Life more, so that can go on to the next round. Next up, Kategori vs Death Parade. So with Death Parade, the game element in it is when the people who die, they go to this place where it decides whether they get destroyed or they can be reincarnated, and to go to either side they have to play a game which will release their like psychological elements and what they've done in their life and like show it to them, and they have to prove that they're worth to be reincarnated. So most people who are like murderers or evil at heart will end up being destroyed because they can't accept or they can't like complete the game. And some of the games are very intense where it involves you killing another person with like a dartboard and a whole lot of different stuff. You have to pick the right one based on what your fate will be, and that's pretty interesting. I think Death Parade is an overall good anime. It's not very long, 12 episodes, but wrapped up the story pretty good, and the game elements are very thrilling and tense. Now with Kategori, it's a gambling anime. A bunch of these students are in this high school where it's not about grades, it's not about anything like that, it's not about how smart you are, it's about how good you are in gambling. So it can be a number of card games, any other games. It's all about gambling, and the basis of the story is the main character, who is an impulsive gambler who is very good at gambling, very intelligent, and she is pretty crazy. And she just wants to gamble, have fun, and along with that, with a lot of like events happening where you can become the school captain or like the top of the school, and you'll have like the privileges of running the world pretty much. The students who are at the top of this school pretty much end up being the top of the world, and gambling's all basis around that. And in the game element, I think it's better in Kategori, so that can advance. The next two anime are both isekai anime again. We have Overlord vs Log Horizon. With Overlord, it's another MMORPG where the main character gets teleported to this world with all his gear, all his abilities that he got from being one of the top players when the game was just a game for regular people to play. He was one of the top people in the whole world. He has his maxed out abilities. He has this whole big guild that's underground called Nazarick, and it's him pretty much. He can, at any point, he could go out and just destroy the world because no one knows who he is, because the game has slightly changed and it's been full NPCs, and at this point, what we've seen with the 3 seasons, he's not sure if he's the only one who's being teleported into the world, and he's trying to find if there's any other people that are being teleported, or if it's just him. So he's feeling surrounded by NPCs that are being programmed by whoever sent them in the world and like what they set it as when they played the game. And he can pretty much stomp on anyone in the world no matter what, but he doesn't want to do that. He wants to set up this thing where he becomes the overlord of the world with like this, by showing his power without needing to just destroy. He does fight a war and like pick side and like pretty much is the overlord of everyone in the background. No one really knows who he is. And yeah, that's pretty good. And it's up against Log Horizon. Log Horizon, MMORPG yet again. All isekai anime are the same because why not? But Log Horizon, I think it's a bit different. The character who's being teleported in, he's as well one of the top like guilds in the world. He's the practitioner, or like the mage slash strategist of the guild, and he gets teleported in alongside many other characters who are like people who've been teleported into the world. And his idea of the world is to set up economics and like control the world, make it like whatever they can to the real world. And the thing is that people, adventurers, who are the people who've been teleported in, they can't die. If they die or lose all their stamina in like a raid or something, they'll just get teleported to this gate and get respawned with all their health again. While the NPCs in the world, which make up about half of the world, if they die forever and they're gone. And some characters make attachments to these NPCs, and pretty good. The greatness of Log Horizon comes from like around episode 6 or something, one of the best episodes in anime. If you haven't seen Log Horizon, I highly recommend checking it out if you enjoy isekai anime. The MMORPG aspects are not fully fleshed out like Overlord. Overlord like has very like, it stays on that route throughout the story, with like being clear that he's max level, his first tier NPCs are level 99, his bottom tier one's level 30, and the rest of the world's max level is 20 at this point, and he could just stop anyone. And like using abilities, using equipment that like makes you go faster, fire resistance and all this other stuff. While Log Horizon just focuses on real world things where they try and implement it into the game so they can make it livable, and yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'd say Log Horizon advances. The last 2 anime in round 1 include the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And Kaji the Ultimate Survivor. So with Kaji the Ultimate Survivor, he's pretty much in debt and needs to go to these massive events where he has to gamble and win to clear his debt. And what happens, he ends up losing and getting more debt, needing to enter more competitions, where it gets to a point where the competitions he's entering, which involve gambling, ends up being life or death, and you could fall and die from these things. And the start of it, I think, is much stronger than near the end. I haven't finished it, I still got like 5 or 6 more episodes to go, because near the end I kind of lost interest in it, and this lost what it was at the start. It's very like thrilling and fun to watch at the start, with him like on a boat where they play rock paper scissors but with cards, and like the over different ways you can like strategize to win it, and what he does to outmaneuver people and then get outmaneuvered himself. Pretty cool. He is the ultimate survivor indeed, and it's up against the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Everyone knows Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! The card game, everyone's played it. Yu-Gi-Oh! Greatness, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going to advance. In round 2 we have No Game No Life versus category Log Horizon versus the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's begin. So with No Game No Life, the game aspect comes into everything they play. They go into the new world, they meet the god of the world being like, defeat all other things and you'll be able to challenge me to a game or whatever. And that's pretty much going to be the end of it. We need a season 2, please. Season 2, greatest isekai anime, has a JoJo reference, has everything greatness. The games they play can variety from different things. I'll talk about the chess game here. So the chess game involved regular chess, but then it this changed to like all this other crazy stuff where like the characters go onto the field themselves. They can lead them into like an army force instead of chess. It goes extreme. It does this flip of coin scene that everyone loves. Everyone loves this scene where they pretty much draw in a game, so like, oh, let's end it with a flip of coin. Heads you win, tails I lose. Yeah, you understand that. And then he flips it, and instead of that, he uses his foot to open a crack in the ground, and the coin lands in there perfectly, and everyone just freaks out, and yeah, oh, it's a draw, that's too bad, and yeah, they move on. No Game, No Life is probably the best isekai anime, and it's up against Katakuri. Katakuri is, I think, largely underrated. There's been 2 seasons at this point. The manga and anime are about equal in length at this point. They're both top tier greatness, and I think more people need to check this out. The main character is crazy, but it's good to watch her. Everything about that she does is amazing. Most other characters are good. It's not like other animes where there's only 1 or 2 characters that are bearable to watch. Most characters in this anime are really good and have their own characteristics when it comes to gambling. And this everything about Katakuri is greatness. Every episode is intense, thrilling to watch. The gambles they go on, how crazy they are, the like explanations of how they defeated another person is pretty interesting. The game's interesting, and Katakuri can advance. The thing about Log Horizon, the game element isn't the best part or my favorite part of the story. It's more of the main character trying to set up like a real world economic systems, a banking system, and all of that. That's pretty much the best part, and the like him being an evil genius that in the background controlling everything. That's my favorite part of it. Not really the game and the small amount of fights that happen. The fights aren't okay, where they have to set up like an MMORPG. You have 2 attackers, mages in the back, support, healing, giving stamina and this everything, magic attacks going, stealth attacks. There's different types, classes, assassins, mages, tanks, and all of that. That is all cool to watch, but I don't think it's the main like focal point of the story that really engages and makes it what it is, one of the best isekai anime. And it's up against Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is this over-the-top greatness, you know, especially the original. None of the other Yu-Gi-Ohs can even come close to this, with the main character with Kaiba, best character, high key, facts, Pegasus, this, even the dub for Yu-Gi-Oh! If you haven't seen the sub was a lot more dark and probably more enjoyable, not as childish, and the manga is even more darker. Such as with the manga, the Shadow Realm isn't a thing, it's pretty much just death. If you lose a duel, you're pretty much dead in the manga, so that's that part to it. It has dark themes to it when it wants to, and the overall story is this great, so Yu-Gi-Oh! Can go to the final. In the final, we have Katakuri vs Yu-Gi-Oh! The original series. Who will win the best anime in the game genre? Let's have a look. Katakuri, every episode is thrilling, different episode, different game. Gambling, the main focus of the thing, very interesting, great animation, great characters, amazing looking eye effects, top tier, everything I can think of. Up against Yu-Gi-Oh! One game, different duel every episode. Duels can last longer than episodes, but you know, there's only one thing that can decide the victory out of these two, and it's which has more powerful memes. And I'm gonna have to say, Yu-Gi-Oh! Memes are amongst the best and the most top tier of all time. So I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is gonna win. Katakuri, I'm sorry to say, you must be a 3rd-rate duelist with a 4th-rate deck. That's too bad. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the victor. That's it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe, leave a like, let me know what genre or what bracket type you want me to do next. And that's it, guys. Peace.